Welcome back to the 360 Sports Network Road to the Final Four podcast series, where we break down all the conference tournaments on the way to the big dance, looking at who gets the automatic bid, who will probably get an at-large bid, and whose bubbles might just have burst. Because before we fill that field of 68, we have to first look at those conference championships. My name's James Dotson. Tonight, we're looking at the Southeastern Conference, the SEC. Now, when's the last time that a 2 seed in a power conference, nevertheless the SEC, didn't make the tournament? Well, in my mind, that's exactly what's going to happen with the Kentucky Wildcats right now. But they're not alone. The 3 seed Ole Miss Rebels, the 4 seed Alabama Crimson Tide, they're also on the bubble. On the outside looking in is probably the 5 seed Tennessee Volunteers. And the 6 seed Missouri Tigers, they're somehow considered to be securely in. 2 through 5, we don't know. 1 is in, 6 is in. Let's start with the 6 seed, the Tigers. At 22-9, they're poised to probably be a 7 or 10 team in the tournament. They've benefited big time from having Alex Oriaki. He's a transfer from Connecticut. He's given Missouri the inside presence that they were lacking these past couple years. Oriaki averages 11 points, 8.5 rebounds per game. Combined now down low with Lawrence Bowers, the Tigers look poised to make a big run and make up for last year's terrible upset loss in the first round to Norfolk State. 6 players on the Tigers average double-digit points per game. You never know which player is going to have the huge night. So good luck stopping the team as a whole. And you can't forget Phil Pressey, 12 points, 7 assists per game, a big force outside. The next 3 teams, Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, they will all do battle, and one will likely be knocking the other one right out of the NCAA tournament. As of right now, Tennessee is one of those 3 teams that are in the tournament, and that's for only one reason. They're playing well right now. The Volunteers have won 8 of their last 9 games. If they win the first game in their tournament, they'll face 4 seed Alabama, who have lost 3 out of their last 5. Trevor Relaford and Trevor Lacey for the Tide, Jordan McRae, Jarnell Stokes for the Vols. I'd take the Vols duo anyway, but the fact that they are the team on the streak right now, that's why I have the Volunteers as my pick, and then as a result, Alabama likely being out of the tournament. Winner is in, loser is likely out. As for Ole Miss, which team will show up? They held Missouri to just 49 points when they played in January, winning by 15. But then they lost by 19 in February, with Missouri nearly topping the century mark. It's not like Ole Miss can't put up points. Marshall Henderson puts up nearly 20 per game on his own. But he struggles against Missouri. In their first game, or that's who their first game should be against. Their first game they played, he scored 11 points. Second time, 16 points. He made only 4 shots in each of those 2 games, so their star player just doesn't match up well against their potential second-round matchup of Missouri. I don't see Murphy Holloway being effective with Oriaki and Bowers down there. I just don't see it happening. Therefore, Ole Miss is out of the tournament in my mind. Now, number 2, Kentucky. On paper, they're definitely a tournament team. However, the selection committee doesn't just look at paper. They don't look at just the numbers. They look at the team as a whole. And the team right now is not a tournament team. Many people will say it's not fair, and honestly, I'm kind of one of them. An injury shouldn't diminish what happened earlier in the season. They may be right, but that's not how the tournament committee does it. A few years back, St. Mary's was looking for an at-large bid. Patty Mills had missed a few games with a broken hand, but he came back to play the last couple games in the West Coast Conference Tournament in 2009. However, in a blowout loss in the championship game, he shot 2 of 16. Even though he was back, he was not effective, and the team suffered as a result. The committee said that with Mills struggling, the Gales weren't a tournament team. And I see the same happening this year to Kentucky. Unless they make a run through the SEC tournament, they will not make the NCAA. They're just not good enough right now without Nerlens Noel down low blocking the shots and making the plays on defense. They need, in my mind, they need to make the SEC title game to have any chance. But they definitely have to win at least 1, probably 2. Alright, finally, the number 1 seed. Florida is good, but they just lost to Kentucky, and you know how much I like them right now. And you know how much I have confidence in teams who live and die by a 3-point shot? This is one of them. I have 0 confidence, especially in a power conference team that will average 22 3-points attempt per game. I don't care if they shoot 38% from beyond the arc. I really don't care. If you have one bad game, it's all over. Now, they do have some height. They have 6'9" Patrick Young, 6'10" Eric Murphy. But Murphy actually has the second most 3-point attempts on the team. They don't even go inside. They don't go inside enough. They rely on the jumper too often. It's not my cup of tea. I have no confidence. I can't take a team like that in the tournament. Definitely not in my brackets. They could go deep if they get hot, both in the SEC tournament and the NCAA. We've seen it happen before, but it's very tough to trust a team to take them that far. So, as a result, in the SEC tournament, no, as you probably guessed, I'm not taking Florida all the way. I think the Tennessee-Alabama game, whoever wins that, will go to the championship game. I personally say Tennessee, and I think they will face Missouri in the championship game. Missouri, I think, is just the team on a roll right now. I have them going all the way from a 6th seed to getting the SEC automatic bid. And as for Kentucky, I have Vanderbilt beating them. And actually, I think they beat them pretty handily because Vanderbilt is a balanced offense, and Kentucky just is not playing well right now without Nerlens Noel. So Kentucky out of the tournament, Mississippi out of the tournament. I think Alabama out of the tournament. They have the best chance. Again, Alabama versus Tennessee. The winner is in, loser likely out, but still has a very good chance depending on what happens the rest of the way. The only lock, Florida, and my tournament champion, Missouri. Well, that's it for breaking down the SEC Conference Tournament. Follow us on Twitter at 3S Network, and keep tabs at 360 Sports Network as Selection Sunday is getting ever so close. It's time to start looking at what brackets will be and what brackets won't. For 3SN, I'm James Dotson. Good night.